So here it is with XRP, and I've got to zoom back to the 8 hour. So now on the 8 hour is, you can see here that you've got this yellow line here where you can see the candles are level. Where you have the RSI here is, you can see that there's a clear bearish divergence. It's getting exhausted, yeah. So it again, this looks like it's heading for the down. Excuse me. Even on the stock is heading down while price action is level. Now again, this is slowly starting to come down here, but you can see it's level here, yeah. So now that's for the down. Is here for a pattern recognition that is sort of supporting the up. Is you can see this little purple channel here, where here's the top of this bear channel coming down, yeah. And you see the drop, the lift, the capitulation, the double bottom, then the consolidation for the break up, yeah. And here's the same pattern again: the drop, the lift, the capitulation, the double bottom. Again, here's this consolidation for the lift, and here it is again: the drop, the lift, the capitulation, the drop. I'm not sure whether you can call this a double bottom. Is then the consolidation phase again. Is it a lift or is it a drop? Yeah, as you can see the zone that it's in. A very similar position in all three. Yeah. So that's an argument for the up. Okay, so now when I click into this chart, again you can see the same. The blowhorn pattern is, you can see the touches down here. Had a touch. Is the break up. The first level will be to take us to the 44. If it consolidates there, again heading to the top of this yellow channel at 68 or so, yeah. If it breaks down, we're looking at 26 and a half. If it really breaks down, we're looking at 21 and a half. Now when I zoom in, again you can see this blue triangle here. Again, there's an arc pattern where you got the third spike, double top, first drop, mountain peak. Again, it would suggest that we're heading for a third drop down here, yeah. But again, in the pattern is there many times we get this, but there are times when after mountain peak you get the breakup, and again this is potentially one of those, yeah. And again you can see here's a symmetrical triangle coming in from the bottom. They have a tendency to break up. They have a tendency, but an awful lot of times in mountain peak here, it'll come back down. So I have a simple divergence line here. So you can see the touch here. You can see the touch here, and again you see this space here. So it's quite possible that we won't get an answer until we hit somewhere here. So when is that? That is today, 12 o'clock, 8 o'clock, sometime this evening, maybe. This line might give us an answer. So now it's the 15 minutes. Don't talk about that right now. Is now here. Here I'm looking at a couple of impulse waves. So I'll start from the turn of the day, yeah. So here's the turn of the day, yeah. So this, well, actually this impulse here, yeah. So from the top to the bottom, excuse me, I'm measuring this impulse here. I'm measuring the correction here. My apologies. So from here to there, again you can see it wicked through the 786. I'm just showing you something here with regards XRP and its like of the 786, yeah. So here's the correction. Now this impulse here, and then down to the bottom again here, and again, look at that, a wick to the 786. Okay, so now this here, I'm going to measure this again, and it's already, it looks like it's already in, is, here's the 786. So now we're heading for another correction, yeah. Now this is important when I show you the MAs, yeah. Excuse me. And again, this is just on the 5-minute chart. So you can see it looks like it's topping out here. It's going to turn back down again, yeah. So you can see the play of it at the moment, yeah. So now when I go into the MAs, is I'm on the weekly. I'm on the weekly for the moment, and part of what I'm going to show you on this pattern is the same spaces where here's the double bottom that I showed you earlier on. Here's the double bottom that I showed you earlier on the weekly. So on the weekly, you see the VWAP turn, the VWAP turns, and the VWAP turn. So all three are the same, yeah. Is after that you get the first candle up. You get the first candle up. And you get the first candle up. So this is the first candle up. So now on this one, where this tops out, remember this is on the weekly, from the top out here, it retraces. Now here is the turn of the day, a new week. It did a retrace. It did a retrace of 4.2%. Okay, where on this one, again, turn of the day, it did a retrace of 1.5%. Okay, so my point is that on both of them, they both did a retrace. We haven't had our retrace yet here, yeah. So the question is, are we going to, well, tiny slightly one, are we going to get a deeper retrace? Even if it is going to go up, are we going to get a deeper retrace before it does, yeah? And again, this is going to make sense when I show you what I'm showing you in a moment, yeah. So, and again, here's the 10 MA coming down. Here's the 5 looking like support on the weekly. Here's the 10 coming down pretty heavy at 41.86. Here on the 6th day, here's the 10 coming down at 39.81. Now the reason why I'm showing you this is that this is a lot of pressure coming down on price action, yeah. And again, you see the VWAP turned. 5 looks like it's support there. So the 5-day, again, the 10 is coming down pretty strong here, yeah. Again, 5 is support, and this one's in the red. This one's in the red at the moment, yeah. Okay. Here's the 4-day. Again, a fair bit of pressure here. If it capitulates here, you can see this will allow it to just run, yeah. Equally, it could be support. You can get a retrace back to 33.79, which is one of the targets that is a potential, yeah. Same here, get a retrace back to the 5 MA on the 3-day, 33.96. You see the 10 here at the moment is support. This is the medial line here, it hasn't broken the medial line, which is an MA in itself. Again, this one here is this was the rejection of this lift on the 2-day, the 20, yeah. You see it come up to it again, and it's rejecting it at the moment. And then here's the 5 down here at 34, 30, 31. So I'm just giving you the bigger time frame because you can see the play of things at the moment. Now here's the daily, and you can see the VWAP is down on the daily, yeah. And there was a spike up there, and again it's getting pushed back down. You can see the 5 is holding support here, but again that you can get a capitulation on that down to. You can see the 20 on the day is also holding firm at 35.34, yeah. And then here's the 20 at 34.5 or so. 10 at 34. There's the medial line at 33.6. So now I'm going to show you, I think it's the 2 week. I think it's the 2 week. Maybe it's the 3 week. There's the 3 week, yeah. Now again, we still might get the lift up, is for sure. But the 3 week turned there on the 20th of June, yeah. And the 5 crossed over the 50 and the 55. So 5 MA crossed over the 50. On the 3 week, this is enormous. Now I know it's come from a height, so that you have to allow for the fact that there's already been a big drop. It does need a breather, but this for sure is indicating that there's a strong, basically there's still a very strong push down, yeah. Okay, so let's flick into the 12 hour. Again, I won't go through all these hours, yeah, because I want to hone in on the 4, or not the 4, the 4. So again, today so far, the turn of the day is VWAP is down. So the pressure is down for today. You can see there was a push up to the 5 and the 55. Now it was holding, the 55 here had been holding. All these drop throughs were where you can see they're all getting pushed back up. So now the drop through yesterday, it didn't get back up above the 55. So the 55 broke yesterday. You see it back tested today. It went back up to the 5. It's got a rejection, and it's up and down in its waves at the moment. Excuse me. So remember the wave I showed you where it went up, and we're now back in a correction on the way back down. Yeah. You can see the 50 here, 50 at 35.55, the 20 EMA at 34.76, and then here's the 20 MA at 33.72. Again, we'll talk about this as well, that this could be a Bart Simpson. So it could break up, it could come down and do a Bart Simpson first, yeah, or equally it could capitulate. So now let me just go into 4 hour here, and again the decision, the battle line seems to be between the 200 MA on the 4 hour and the 20 EMA on the 4 hour. And you can see it's getting tighter and tighter, yeah? So at the moment, there we go, 11 turned. So these two guys, the 20 and the 10 were turned up. Thereafter, the 20 turned down, and you see the 10 is curving around. The 5's already pushing back down, yeah? And then there's the VWAP. And remember is that we had an impulse, and now this is the correction pushing back down, yeah? So if you remember, where is it? This one here, remember, is very simply, just as a simple correction here, is this is going to push back down to 36 or so, yeah. But what's happened is the 4 hour turned again, and you can see the 20 and the 10 are coming over the top. And again, this looks like for support for the push down, yeah. So it does look like there's a solid push down coming. But again, you sort of want to see it to believe it at this point. But you can see the move down here, yeah. Again, this fits in with the 8 hour bearish divergence, yeah. So it's possible that we get a drop. And still continue up. That's really what I'm trying to say. And then my final note on this is, I'll talk about this chart, is basically what we're looking for, yeah, is if it breaks up, it looks like we're going to break up into this red channel, this resistance line here to 44 or so, yeah. If it settles back on this blue line and goes up again, I think we're going to head from the yellow channel all the way to the top of the yellow channel at 65 or so. That's what it looks like. Before, again, we're going to get a rejection and head back down, yeah. Equally, is if there's more pain right now, is we get a rejection here, and potentially we could get a bounce again to the 33.50 and continue on up, or we get to capitulation. And if we put this on as an impulse, you can see the full correction of this impulse will be down here at 30.50 if that happened. Excuse me, if that happened, we could get the capitulation down here, is third drop, final peak, final bounce, and again it could still head up. If it's going to go lower, we're looking at 26, and then if we really wanted to drop, you could look at it down to 1872. I suppose my general thought about this sentiment is, I think the crash and the way it's happened so fast and so deep is the DeFi experiment seems to be crashing. That's what's pulling the market down here. Is the DeFi kicked off this bull run in summer 2020? It was the DeFi that kicked it off, and all the new DeFi approaches to crypto they seem to be the ones who aren't making it seem to be crashing now. So I get a sense, this is just my sense, that somebody big is going to crash. Somebody big in the market is going to collapse, and that will pull it down to its real bottom, and then we'll head up from there. And that hasn't happened yet. So we'll see how that goes. So now last thing is, where is it now? On the 4 hour is what am I looking for a signal of something bigger, is when it breaks above the 200 MA on the 4 hour at 36.60. When it gets above that and it stays above it and starts to move on up. So 36.60 is I've been watching that very closely. On the down, the 20 EMA at 35.94, 36 essentially, is when it breaks below 36. And again, if it breaks below 36, does a back test and it holds it, is strong indication it's going to go down. Yeah, and again, I'd be watching for the 33.50 or so, 33.70, and then possibly that's it. Turns around, heads back up. So that's it. That's it for now. Let's see what's going to happen, and I will give you over to Michaela. All right, guys, chat in a bit.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Let's see where my screen is. Just give me a moment to change over to my screen. Okay, now I'm gonna start with Bitcoin, and I'm gonna start with Bitcoin on the 1 hour time frame, just to notice a pattern that we're in. I'll be talking more about this pattern in the weekly review tonight, so I won't go into detail. I'll just tell you the gist of it this morning, and then we'll check in again at New York time and see where we are. So this is Bitcoin on the 1 hour. As we can see, we've been trying desperately to hold the 20. Well, I'll round it up to the 22 level, somewhere around here, the orange line. But we haven't managed to keep above it at the weekend, and we've made a double top structure, which I thought that might be possible on Thursday or Friday. I think I posted this. So we are in a double top situation here in this slightly downward sideways channel. It's slightly going downward, but I treat it as a sideways in terms of levels and support. Now, for the invalidation, I would say that holding the 22 level would be a nice confirmation for something bigger to come. I've moved my channel line up higher this morning. I had it somewhere around here, and it showed a break up from this channel, which I don't fully approve of. So that's why it again, it might happen. I have seen it happen. I've been in the situation where I moved it, but since we've done all of this after breaking the so-called breaking out, I decided to move it up higher, and in this way it will I think it reflects better where we are. So there it is. Now this channel is less relevant for the breakout than holding the 22k level. Now where this line is, as technical as it might be, it matters, but what matters to me as a trader would be holding the 22k level. So if we're holding the 22k level, I would say we are going upwards for the 25 at least, and then we'll see what happens when we consolidate there. That would be my my invalidation for the downward move. The rejection here, another rejection here, so we might come up, we might even do a spike as we did yesterday above the previous high and then head down. That might happen as well, and the level for that downward move would be around 19.5. Now I'll put a fib over this swing, and 19.5 would be 19.6 would be a 0.5, and that would be a short retrace in case it decides to head upwards. So everything's still on the table after the sideways weekend. We might come down for a retrace, a shallow one, and then head up. Now personally, while looking at this double top pattern, I find it hard to believe that we're not coming down for another touchdown of the bottom line. So the invalidation for the up is 22k. The invalidation for the down, I'll move it to 19.5, because if we do break the 19.5, if we break the 0.5, we might be coming down for the 786. So the 786 would be in and around where the bottom line of the channel is, around 18,000. I believe we need that second leg down for a double bottom to move upwards with a bit more conviction and with a bit more of a solid base. I know it looks very tempting what's going on here for the long. This is how it works. It's psychology. We're hitting it up 1, 2, 3, 5 times. So we think we're going up, but my experience would say we're coming down for at least the midline if momentum holds. If the midline breaks, then we're coming down for the bottom line. And what I'm gonna talk about tonight in the weekly review is the Wyckoff accumulation. Now, this plays out differently in different coins. I've been watching it for the past 6 months in XRP and Ethereum, and occasionally for Bitcoin. So I believe we need another leg down, and we need that leg down tends to be lower than the previous one. For XRP, that tends to be lower. For Ethereum, that tends to be higher. But you see these 1, 2, 3 legs down. This fourth one is optional. I've rarely seen it in both XRP and Ethereum. But at the moment, I'm taking this one as 1, I'm taking this one as 2, and I believe we need another one, at least 2, somewhere around the level of this one for a reverse head and shoulders, if not the bottom of the channel. So that's where I think we are, at London time and then before New York. Let's see what's going to happen. I believe we've completed an impulse here. The stochastic RSI on the hour is at the top, and I believe we might be heading down. So I think London's done a slight lift up, so that it can bring it down a little bit further, and I think New York will continue that. On the daily, I'll show you why I'm more conservative when it comes to lifting up on the daily, and again I'll talk about it more in tonight's review. We are holding the 5, and again this is the channel that we broke out of, and here is the 20 on the daily at 22,800. So until we meet that 20 and until we hold it, I would say that the upwards momentum is not confirmed. And as you can see, we've just got this, how can I say, this V-shaped recovery on the daily. It doesn't look like a reverse head and shoulders. It looks very steep down. We have had it before here. Where else did it happen? I would say no, not there. Here it happened to some extent, and it did hold the 20, but more often than not, it's not a sustainable move upwards. So it needs to do a retrace. It needs to put a second leg down for it to be a bit more solid on the way. Now Ethereum, I don't want to talk too much this morning. Ethereum is in a daily channel, so I have this daily channel that comes down, and we've just hit the midline. So we got rejected on the midline yesterday. That's the level that it got rejected at, and now we are at the midline again, trying to test it to go upwards. Now on Friday I posted this wedge, which is a 4-hour wedge, and I said we've technically broken out of it. We've retested it. Now the real test of the uptrend is, as with Bitcoin, but it's closer than Bitcoin's, the 20 MA on the daily. So the white line here is the 20 MA on the daily. And if we break above it and consolidate and then head up, we have the 50 on the daily at around, and I'm going to change it because it's gone up, 1600 at the moment. So it hasn't gone up as quickly as I thought it would. It hasn't had the momentum to go upwards straight to the 20. It's not above it. It got rejected at this midline, the yellow line of the channel. And despite the support that it's holding, the candles on the 4-hour are not looking very convincing. So on the 4-hour, as you can see, it looks like we've done an impulse. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I am to put a fib on this 4-hour impulse, the 0.5 is 1150, golden pocket 1120, 1130, and then 1100 for the 782 and 786. Very close together in levels. So despite holding the lift out of that 4-hour wedge, we're not holding the we are holding, sorry, I take it back. We're holding the 5 and we're holding the 20 on the 4-hour. We're not holding the 10, and this correction down over the on the 4-hour hasn't managed to make the 5 cross the 20. I believe that will happen though. I believe that will happen. This is not like it hasn't even reached the 382 as a correction, so I believe we are gonna head down a little bit lower. I again, in the greater picture of things, we might come down, we might do a shallow 382 or 0.5 down to the Bollinger correction and then head up. Or if that 0.5 breaks, we're heading downwards for a deeper correction. Just as with Bitcoin, I believe we need a more solid base to head up. I don't think that only this reverse head and shoulders on the 4-hour is enough to bring it 30 or 40% upwards. On the shorter time frame, just to give you again zooming in on the 1 hour, this is where we are. And again, over the weekend, we've tried to break the 1250. We haven't managed to do so. We got brutally rejected here. Now 1150 is the next level, and then 1050, and then 950. 950 would be my level for a second leg down. I'm keeping the same. I'm not changing them because again, Ethereum's moving in a very level, in a very even way. Technically, it's broken out of this divergence line. It's come up. It's retested it. I'm keeping the same in validation. So 1250, holding the 1250 would be a strong signal for heading upwards. But we would need. I would be again conservative there because I have seen a lot of fake outs and seemingly holding a level and heading down 10-20% as the 4 hour or the 8 hour would change. So be mindful of that. That's me for Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'll see you at New York time.